And then one day I sat down to work on the website and I've got about 2 hours. I'm like, what's the most profitable thing I could do right now with 2 hours? And that I never realized the implications. But what I asked is what I call in capital letters, the question. It's the question, because how the question that I asked defined what information do I need? So if I wanted to find out what was the most profitable thing, well, then I needed to know, well, what about all these things? What do they result in? So it started me on understanding a CRM, started me on understanding analytics and combining those two and doing sales tracking. And it took a number of months to pull all this together. What I found, number one, big numbers lie. That was first and foremost, because over 90% of my traffic is coming from search engines. However, none of my sales came from that source. And this is the importance of knowing the question. Because if the question was, what's giving me the most leads? I would have answered it very quickly with my analytics, and I would have followed down the wrong road. The question was profit, and that changed everything. It got me into my sales tracking. And what I learned is the majority of my sales came from a link that I had bought on someone else's website for like $20 a year, and it came from PR. I was putting out press releases. I was doing interviews in magazines about how to sell specific types of commercial properties. It wasn't, and those things affected search rankings, but it was the direct PR aspect that was really building the business and resulting in sales. So as I said, I'm not a data guy. I'm a sales guy who learned that data enables me to sell better and more effectively.
Wow, that's awesome. But you also have to have like this analytical side to it. Did you like the numbers? Because I got to tell you, Matt,
I hate numbers.
When we say, okay, great, me too, unless it's profit, right? But when we're thinking like, oh my gosh, data and analytics, literally my eyes just gloss over. Thank God I have a paid ads expert on our team that she can digest and give me that information in terms that I can consume. So you're not a numbers guy, yet you found fortune in the numbers.
Yeah. See, and analytics, you and 90% of the population glaze over. If analytics were about math, I would be in trouble. I mean, to this day, like my kids get A's in math and I'm shaking my head going, it ain't for me. I barely survived algebra. I barely survived geometry. Those things were such a mystery to me. And yet when it came to analytics, because what we're tracking in analytics, there's a story. And when there's a story, it's easier to comprehend. Analytics tracks behavior. And when we start to understand that, it's less about numbers and more about people. And then what makes it easier is when you put dollar signs next to it, that this type of behavior results in this much money. Now, it's a little more exciting to sit there and kind of pull things apart and look at what's happening.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a gem right there. The fact that you said analytics detect or shed a light on behavior. So, so that's my mind just exploded because now the question is, okay, well, what behaviors do we want them to take?
Right.
Yeah. So how do we, and I'm assuming that is a custom thing for every business.
Well, the problem is, so when you get an analytics program, regardless of what it is, what other vendor is,
and we're thinking what Google Analytics, what kind of programs?
You can use Google Analytics. I'm actually in the process right now of testing about 6 other analytics products because I've had it up to here with Google Analytics.
Okay.
I'm kind of done and I'm de-Googling.
Okay.
So any analytics product, Adobe, Google, any of these things, they are one size fits all off the shelf products. And what that means is regardless of what kind of business you are, Fortune 500, manufacturing, e-commerce, coffee shop down the street, if you get Google Analytics, you're going to see the same data in the same format as everybody else. That's the problem. And so when you go and you open it up and you see these reports and you're looking at it going, well, that must be important because that's the first thing I see. It's not. It's not. It's the same thing every other business sees. And what analytics do is they just gather as much data as possible. And then they produce reports, the same reports that everybody else sees, that are probably relevant, maybe not, until you start customizing specifically to who you are, what your goals are, what are you trying to accomplish. You see, that's the big filter that you need, because otherwise, analytics, all it's doing is reporting all this behavior that's happening. 90% of it's not relevant.
Yeah. And that's what we get caught up in, because we don't know, we get caught up in what's called vanity metrics. Can you talk about vanity metrics for a minute?
Vanity metrics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, I go all the way back. Big numbers lie.
Yep.
The corollary to that is, but they look darn good on reports.
Makes us feel good.
Yeah, that's vanity metrics. Vanity metrics are like impressions, views, clicks, likes. And part of it is we lump all this under this new term now called engagement. And I like to laugh at engagement used to mean commitment. Now it means that someone clicks something. That's what, we're lumping all of this in because we don't know what to really measure. We don't know the numbers that affect business growth. We aren't approaching with questions. And when you don't approach with questions, you just take what information is dished out to you.
Thanks for watching Practical Talk on YouTube. Listen to full episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And while you're there, be sure to hit that subscribe button.